Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast. Here on the DFPN, we are streaming live on Twitch, live on Facebook, live on the website, live on YouTube tonight. We are here fresh off an AEW Dynamite with a monumental announcement. Pretty decent Dynamite. We'll react to that. We also have some other thoughts. We got a good show for you guys tonight. Before we get into that, let's get into the sponsors. Shout out to The Plugs Earbuds. Go to www.gettheplugs.com. Enter in code DFPN10 for a 10% discount. Shout out to Fiverr as well. If you're looking for any type of services, they are a freelance site. We will post this link on the Dat Film Facebook page as well as the No Gimmicks Facebook page. Go to this link, whatever service you need. They built our website for us, or they got it built for us. So there's a bunch of freelancers out there looking for whatever service that you're needing. Go to Fiverr today and sign up for your service that you need. Subscribe to the Dat Film Bandcamp. We got a bunch of new music out. I just put some new music out. Smitty just put some new music out. So go check out the datfillin.bandcamp.com page. Get in your music needs. Join us on the Patreon. We will be doing a No Gimmicks Patreon exclusive here shortly. So stay tuned to that. Also, every show is ad-free on the Patreon. And we do have our merch. Go to the Teesprings, type in Dat Film Podcast at www.teespring.com. Now, Fabulous Frankie D.
Mr. Black Mac, how you doing?
Let's jump right into the shit, man.
Right.
We got a Dynamite. I have my thoughts on it. I thought this was a decent Dynamite. There were hits and misses. There was good. There was bad. There was ugly. Let's jump into the biggest part of tonight. So there was an announcement, Tony Khan's huge announcement, which he teased, and that ended up being that AEW New Japan Forbidden Door is coming to the Chicago United Center, the United Center, in June. How do you feel about that?
I think Tony Khan's making big moves. It's something that WWE was never able to accomplish, which is a working relationship with New Japan. They tried. If you remember, Triple H did some business with, tried to do some business with New Japan, and it never panned out for whatever reason. I think a lot of it had to do with the WWE having to be in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why I think the relationship didn't work out. My only issue that I have with the situation, and we were talking about this offline, is that I don't like the fact that Tony Khan feels the need to always have to make these gigantic announcements on Dynamite.
Agreed.
That to me is such a ratings ploy, and it's a ratings grab when it shouldn't even have to be that way. You can simply put out a press release earlier in the day, letting everybody know, hey, we have this working relationship. We're going to have this show in June in Chicago. It's going to be Forbidden Door, and talk about it on Dynamite. There's no need to have to, every single time the ratings drop, you got to sucker people in to watch Dynamite in order to hear this big announcement. In saying that, PW Insider, or not PW Insider, I'm sorry, FightfulSelect.com kind of already broke the story, kind of already said this is what it was going to be. It was coming. So it wasn't, I mean, it's not really a game-changing announcement, in my opinion. It's an announcement for the niche audience, the hardcore audience of AEW and New Japan.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it is. Yep. Is it going to do anything to WWE's business? No. Because they're in their own world over there.
They are. But in terms of what Tony Khan has been able to successfully do with both Ring of Honor, with this purchase of Ring of Honor, and now you have a working relationship with New Japan. That's big for Tony Khan. That is a big move. I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out. I feel like he has been working at this probably for a while because you've seen stars enter in AEW periodically, and I feel like New Japan have been testing that water just to see what the relationship would be like if they actually work together. Because you have Ishii coming on Rampage, but Ishii's actually been around AEW before. Um, Minojaru, Ring of Honor champion, right? I think they've been testing this water for a while, and they finally got to a point to where they're like, okay, let's pull the trigger. Plus, we're coming out of the pandemic era where those guys can now travel, and this probably could have been done a while back, but the pandemic kind of put a wrench in those plans. But it's nice to see it coming together. Now you have things that every hardcore wrestling fan wants to see. These types of matches can now happen because as soon as this announcement was made, I'm like, I need to see Okada versus Bryan Danielson at this pay-per-view. And things like that can actually happen now. Now you can have the Bullet Club featured on an AEW product, and it makes sense because now there's a working relationship.
Yeah, I'm thinking if Kenny Omega is cleared and injury free by the time June comes around, I could definitely see a Bullet Club versus Elite matchup at the show. I could see it happening, but the problem is that New Japan, to me, honestly, New Japan have just crapped all over the Bullet Club angle to the point now it's unrecognizable what they're doing over there. I mean, there's no reason at all that the GOD should not be affiliated with Bullet Club. There should be no reason why they should be kind of siding with other groups in New Japan and not being, Tama Tonga not being that OG, the firing squad. So I don't know what they're doing. It's hard to follow.
I hate that angle. I hate that angle.
I don't like that. I wish they would have continued on what they did a few years ago when they attacked the Young Bucks and Kenny when they started the firing squad angle. But nonetheless, they're gonna do the show. They're gonna do the show. It's gonna be a pay-per-view. I guess maybe this could be a yearly thing, adding to the AEW pay-per-view schedule. But I mean, I have no issue with them at all working with New Japan. I think it's going to bring on a lot of fresh matches for people that want to see matches. But Tony Khan has got to stop with these announcements because it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it is getting ridiculous. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think this was more of a ratings grab announcement to me. That's what it felt like because when they said it's going to be a huge announcement, then you have all types of people going, oh, shit, here we go with the announcements again, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, here we go. What's this one going to be? Who's coming? But no, it's actually going to be, then the speculation started rolling in. It's actually going to be an AEW New Japan deal being discussed. Now we find out it's a pay-per-view. I like it, but I felt like this was a ratings grab. I did.
Well, it's a ratings grab, obviously, and this is something that Tony could have just simple press release, and that's it. WWE never does things like this. They'll break the Hall of Fame stories with major news, major news publications out there, and they'll say, Undertaker's going to the Hall of Fame, and then they'll talk about it throughout the day on their social media. Then they'll talk about it on their TV.
Right.
You never hear Vince McMahon say, "Okay,
there's going to be a huge
announcement tonight on Raw" or something like that. There was nothing like that. You remember when they bought WCW? There was a press release about that, and they didn't talk about it until Monday. On Raw or Nitro is when you turn Nitro on, and that's when you saw McMahon. So it's just every time you turn around, it's always a big announcement, and Tony has to stop that. And this and tonight's show, I mean, you thought it was a decent Dynamite. I thought it sucked, to be honest with you.
It could have been better. So I give it a decent because there were bad parts of Dynamite tonight. There were
a lot of bad.
There were a lot of bad parts of Dynamite tonight.
Yeah.
I think the show kind of went downhill after the Blackpool Combat Club. Once that match happened. By the way, we got to talk about Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah,
we got to talk about Wheeler.
Let's talk about the whole faction.
Yeah, we got to talk about that whole faction. I love it. But I felt like the energy of the crowd was just down after that match. Even with Britt Baker, and Britt Baker's a hometown girl bringing out the Pittsburgh Steelers, the energy was there for her, but that promo was not great at all. It was
no.
It was.
I think it was a spur of the moment kind of promo.
Yeah, it was. You could tell it was, and she didn't work on it, and it didn't feel as sincere as some of her other promos. But I give it a decent because the show started out great with Punk and Dustin. That was a great match. Absolutely. That was a really great match. And I thought they were gonna go after Lee Moriarty because he was one of the original promo guys and Daniel Bryan. I thought they were going that direction. And I think watching this match, I think they're actually gonna go after Arn Anderson's son.
I think Arn Anderson's son is green as grass.
He's green. He is really green.
If you had to pick between the two to go,
I'm going after Lee Moriarty.
I'm going to go after Moriarty.
Yeah, I'm going after Lee Moriarty.
I mean, I got no problem with Dante Martin, but Dante Martin just would not fit.
No, he would not.
And he wouldn't fit in the combat.
He would
club.
not.
I would go after Moriarty. And it's just because, I mean, the little interaction he had with Moxley when he kept kicking him.
Yep.
And Moxley said, so there's a story that can be told there. Like, they're starting to impress him. But I just think if you take those segments, so you have the segment with Dustin and CM Punk, you have a segment with the Blackpool Combat Club, and you have the main event. The rest of the show was trash.
Yeah, I agree. You could have been some of the like the segments and vignettes. Wardlow was okay. I don't like the direction they're going with him. Like, just give me a fucking match with Wardlow and MJF already. We don't need to see him walk the trials of fire. Like, we've already seen that with Cody Rhodes, right? So it feels like a little repetitive. And we don't need that with Wardlow. Just let the man get his hands on MJF and let's see what this ends up being. Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara. Let's just kill that angle. That enough of that already. Even though Dan Lambert's promo was that shit was fire.
See, you know what? I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that because I mean they're pretty much they could turn that into something like they're Sammy's actually embracing the heel. He's embracing the fact that the fans have turned on him.
Yeah, they have.
The woman so he has a justifiable reason to be a heel at this point. So I would go with that. You make money with that. It's not going to be Edge and Lita. It's not going to be on that level of anything, but I would go with Sammy and Ty. Just don't have her cutting a promo.
I can do without it. Honestly.
Well, they're gonna push it, but
I know they're gonna push it.
I like the fact I like the backstage interaction though between Scorpio Sky and Kazarian.
That was good. That was actually good.
It wasn't no bullshit. Good. It was straight up, and Kazarian went with it because he knows pretty much Scorpio got. I mean, I don't even know why Scorpio's even out there with Lambert and Ethan Page still, but he should be. I mean, honestly. They could have did a double turn there with him and Sammy. Sammy looked over the guy to get the belt. This could be the redemption story for Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
So let him go ahead and do his thing. So I'm not sure why they got him as a heel still.
I think AEW's in this phase where they don't really know how to double turn yet. I feel like that. Because if you have a guy that they want to push in Sammy, and the crowd is just not liking him, I don't think
But
AEW's in the
that's not how it's planned though.
right.
You see, here's the
The
problem.
the
The
crowd
problem
hates
is,
Sammy.
well, the crowd hates Sammy because of his
Because
woman. They don't like his woman.
they don't like
And they
his
don't
woman.
and see the thing about it, I'm not gonna go personal and get into their business. But what happened is that Sammy was with the other girl. He got engaged to her, proposed to her, whatever, at AEW
On TV.
on TV. It was a legit thing.
Yeah, it was legit.
Then there was rumors he started messing around with Ty, and they were like, "We need our privacy," and didn't want anybody in their business. Now all of a sudden they're all out with it,
Yeah.
and people are just not
It's like,
feeling
what
it.
the hell?
It's cringe-worthy television. I'm like, I know the way the wrestling how it goes, entertainment value wise. You go with it, let them be heels, go with it and embrace it. But at the same time, you can't let this run for very long. You got to move something else. But I can tell you what this show was missing tonight. This show was definitely missing the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they were. You need that. But Jericho's on tour too. Him and Fozzy are on tour. So
right. They're coming out of San Antonio, matter of fact, on the 30th of April. Yeah.
I get why they're not there, but
but
you need them there.
He's missed. Also, Menorah Suzuki had a match for Dark Elevation that was taped tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he'll be on Dark Elevation next week.
Who did he go up against?
I'm not sure.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. That's interesting because that just shows like, damn, you got all these guys and all that. But that kind of that's a perfect segue real quick into comments that Booker T made about AEW Dark. And I'm like, bro, like, okay, you know what? I can't really take Booker T seriously because you let Triple H call you a nappy head in the build up to WrestleMania, WrestleMania 19. You let him call you a nappy head. You say all you good for is dancing around and entertain me. Then you go to WrestleMania for the World Championship, bro, and you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And you say you don't have a problem with that. So I'm not feeling Booker T. I've interviewed Booker T, and I mean, it wasn't a fun experience dealing with him because the dude kind of was. He just acts like he just acts like he's uppity. You feel me? And that's the same attitude that he presents now is exactly what AJ Styles said he was doing at TNA when he was down there. Booker says that TNA almost ruined his career, bro. They did not respect you in the locker room. They felt you were a cancer in the locker room. You were only there to get the Carter's money, and you did not care about the promotion. So you fast forward this now to people that I talk to in the business about Booker T. They don't like Booker T. They say Booker T is full of himself. Booker T is full of shit. I have heard from one of my friends, you know who I'm talking about. I ain't going to mention his name. But he has told me that Booker T is at WWE because he's one of Hunter's guys. And that's why he's there. And it shows right there. Your wife gets put into the Hall of Fame and never did shit. Let me tell you Sharmel's whole career.
Here we go.
I'm gonna tell you Sharmel's whole career.
Here we go.
Sharmel was a WCW Nitro girl. Okay, started off as Nitro girl.
Yep.
She became Paisley. She was the manager of the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea. Then she was a manager of Kiwi. Okay, this was in the dying days of WCW.
Yes.
Then she came over to the WWF and she was with King Booker. She wrestled a little bit. King Booker. Then they both went down to TNA. They were part of Main Event Mafia. And she tried to wrestle down there. And that is the last time that we saw her do anything. So you tell me, my friend, Mr. Black Mac, who's been watching professional wrestling and sports entertainment all these years, you tell me what the fuck has she done to get into the WWE Hall of Fame? Now, we all know the Hall of Fame's a work anyways. But you tell me, what has she done to get into the WWE Hall of Fame besides Booker T kissing that ass?
Listen, Charmel has opened the way for people like Missy Hyatt to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. If Woman is not in the WWE Hall of Fame,
Can be. We know that's not going to happen because of the situation.
yeah, but fuck. Woman did more shit than fucking Charmel did.
Miss Elizabeth should be in the Hall of Fame.
Miss Elizabeth should be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. She did a hell of a lot more than Charmel.
Fucking Charmel.
And I'm not even a Charmel hater. I'm not a hater like that.
No,
I just don't like it when her damn husband comes out there and talks shit. Just basically anything AEW, he buries it. You know, he doesn't watch. You don't have to, because listen, bro, you can basically, if you're gonna do podcasting or whatever, you can have an unbiased opinion. Just because you're working for the whip, which is the WWE, that's why I call it the whip. Just because you're working for the whip, all right, and you're doing these shows that nobody's watching, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what commentary is Booker T doing right now? Where can I see him at? He's talking about Paul White and Mark Henry on Dark or Elevation.
He's not doing a fucking.
You ain't doing shit. You're doing your
He's
podcast,
not doing a fucking.
the Hall of Fame or the fuck it is, and then you're doing your reality of wrestling. You feel me? And that's it. So tell me what are you doing? I mean, I don't understand it. But then you want to run down anything that anybody else is doing. You ran down Sasha Banks a couple years ago. You ran down Naomi a couple years ago.
But that's his thing.
You're still coming for Hulk Hogan?
That's his thing, though. That's his thing. He gets off on doing that shit because he's a fucking company guy. Booker T is a company guy.
We have names for people like that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is he's a company guy. He has to, in order for Booker T to keep his job of showing up at every pay-per-view's pre-show and talking a little bit of shit that he can talk for those 30 minutes in the pre-show, he has to bury somebody to get those minutes.
That WWE money train is eventually going to run out. They're going to look and see, we don't need Booker T anymore. And then he's going to be like, oh, shit, I hope that Tony Khan calls me.
No one's going to call you.
We
buried everybody.
We coming for you, Tony.
He's buried everyone. He gets off on this shit.
Yeah, so I don't like that. I had no issue with Booker T at all. Although I will say that I think that his first WCW world title was a fluke. It only happened because there were no black champions at WCW. Mm-hmm. WCW was going through a racial discrimination lawsuit, and that's the reason why you got the world championship. I asked Vince Russo about this when I interviewed Russo. Russo denied it. He said it was always his time to get the championship. But I'm like, that's bullshit. WCW was going through a documented racial discrimination lawsuit, and that's the reason why they put the belt on Booker. No different than why Bill Watts put the belt on Ron Simmons back in the day, too. Because they all called, the NAACP called, WCW called Turner and said, how come there's no black champions?
Do you think that's what's happening with WWE right now?
No. Vince just got smart and realized that I can make money with black guys. I got actual black guys here that can perform, so I can make money with them. I don't have the Ahmed Johnsons out there cutting promos. Great, Google it, Google it. You know, I don't have that going on. I got people actually that can do something. So that's what it is. But you had some comments up there a second ago, partner.
Yeah. So we had one from Jeff Fountain. Said Booker was a jobber his later years in the WWE, which is true. Which is very
Booker
true.
T never, I don't care what anybody says, Booker T never got the WWF championship. You got the world title, bruh, that came from the WCW. People can sit up there, oh, well, he got the belt there. Yeah. No, it's not the same thing.
You ask any wrestling fan which belt mattered at that period of time, everyone's going to say the WWE championship.
Exactly.
Everyone.
Exactly. There wasn't a.
It was the only belt that mattered.
There wasn't a black world champion in WWF or WWE
until Kofi Kingston.
Until Kofi Kingston, and they'll say, "Oh, well, you forgot about The Rock." No, I didn't. I did not. Full black champion. It wasn't until Kofi Kingston. But that's a
Correct.
different topic for a different day. I just think Booker T needs to humble himself. You're at a point in time in your life when you can be doing so much. You've earned your status. I ain't taking nothing away from Booker T. I just don't like it when he goes out there and says stupid shit like that.
No, he been doing that shit.
But he's entitled to his
the
opinion.
last time he did that shit, like I had enough of Booker T. I was like, dude, you get off on just saying the most fucked up shit about people. Like he gets off on doing, and I think he's doing that shit so people turn into his podcast, and that's a fucked up move. Like if you're gonna bury people so you can get clicks and views on your podcast, like that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up because you're a guy, and I equate this because Booker T is a respected person in the business as far as what he's done to it. You know what I mean? What he's contributed. Harlem Heat was one of the greatest tag teams ever. Your name carries weight. Your name carries a lot of weight when you talk about these people and how they perform their jobs or what they do for their livelihoods. You know what I mean? Like your name can destroy a person's reputation. So the fact that it can, not saying it will, but it can help destroy someone's reputation.
No, I was gonna say is that Booker T. There's two different Booker T's, right?
Yeah, right.
The Booker T that I was on the phone with when we were about to interview him, okay, the Booker T who's kind of like big timing, and then the Booker T that's on the recording that's talking about his career and he's trying to act like he's all nice and shit. There's two different Booker T's.
Yeah,
and that's just like anybody. That's just like that's anybody. I could be this type of way on the podcast, and then when I got a podcast, I can be a complete asshole. That's anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But Booker T has a lot more weight in the industry.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
that's what I'm saying. Like me and you saying this type of shit probably won't affect nobody. But Booker T saying the shit that he says can affect somebody. Because it can make a wrestling fan look at a specific person, or the way he talked about Dark and Dark Elevation as being a demotion. It can make everybody that works Dark and Dark Elevation seem like they ain't shit.
That's exactly what he's saying, and it's at the same time. It's like, okay, was NXT a demotion?
Right.
No. People used to say NXT that would go into the main roster, to them was a demotion.
Right. Exactly.
Nobody's going to discredit, or discount the WWE machine as it is. But for Booker to come out and basically what you just said, came out and said, hey, everybody that's on Elevation or Dark, or what is that? It's a YouTube show. I would not be coming from WWE and go do something called Dark. Bruh, give me a break. Yeah, you're going to go where the money is at. Those people over there are making money.
They're probably making money and having way more fun doing that shit.
Exactly. You're up here doing these damn shows for hours that nobody's watching. Okay. I saw the WrestleMania one and I was like, this is what they've relegated you to? This is it?
Mm-hmm.
Like this.
That's what I'm saying. He's doing fucking pre-shows, bro. He's doing pre-shows.
Pre-show. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather do this damn. What am I doing? Am I going to do this pre-show? Or am I going to go over here and do AEW? Hey, at least, I'm going to go out here and wrestle in front of the crowd, whatever. You got a lot of good talent that be on Dark, Elevation and Dark. You got the Gun Club that be out there doing their thing. You got Top Fight that be out there doing their thing. Abaddon. The list goes on and on.
I'll tell you,
all these different cats.
I'll tell you the shit that got me. Dark and Dark Elevation live is fucking amazing. Like Absolutely. it makes me want to watch it. Dark and Dark Elevation live. I was like, holy shit, these are the fucking Dark and Dark Elevation matches? Dude, we saw Keith Lee and Swerve in a tag team.
Right.
On Dark. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was one of the best matches of the night.
You get your bang for your buck when you go see AEW live.
You really do. You really do. Mm-hmm. It was
Speaking
of
which, that's a perfect segue real quick before we get to the rest of our topics. So your very first AEW show was last Friday. You went to Rampage / Battle of the Belts. So how was your first AEW experience out there?
Honestly, man, I had a really good time. And where I was sitting, where we were sitting was perfect. because we were right after the floor seats, but you caught the majority of the action. So I don't think I would have liked, unless I was in the front row of the floor seat. I don't think I would have liked sitting in the floor seats. I liked sitting right where we were because we also caught John Moxley coming out when so we caught Rampage. So we caught Rampage, then Battle of the Belts. So it was Rampage, Dark, Battle of the Belts, Dark Elevation. That was the flow of the night. And so when we got there, we caught John Moxley coming out, walked right in front of us, kids marking out and everything. It was fucking amazing. So the kids were marking out. He's walking
we all singing the song. Y'all singing Wild Thing.
Yep. Wild Thing! Like going crazy. It was going crazy. And then so that was awesome. That match was awesome. The Hangman Adam Page. Oh my God. Adam Page and Adam Cole. As fun, because I came home and watched it that night because we got out of there relatively early. So I came home and I watched everything. And the crowd that night, TV did not do it justice.
Right.
TV did not do that crowd any type of justice.
Right.
And so I went there for the Supercard, the Ring of Honor Supercard, and shout out to Jeff Fountain because he went with me to that show. We went to Supercard, and then the crowds for Supercard and Rampage, phenomenal. But the card for Rampage, the crowd for that was off the hook, man. It was off the hook. And the energy stayed there the entire night.
So if you had to compare, because you also went to WrestleMania both days. Mm-hmm. So if you compare the experiences of WrestleMania, I know it being your first time you've been to Mania and all that, but if you being the shows against each other, which one do you say you had more fun at?
AEW.
Yeah, thought you would say that.
AEW. I had way more fun at AEW because the crowd was so it's different. It's different. Mm-hmm. And I said that after Supercard because I was like, these crowds are really different. Mm-hmm. But seeing it at Rampage, Battle of the Belts, it was way different. So the crowd was way more engaging the whole night. There was no dry spot the entire night. There was no dry spot. Whereas at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, there were dry spots to where it was up, down, up, down. The energy kept going at AEW show, and the crowd likes to talk to each other about the match during the match, and that type of engagement is what I like about going to see wrestling live because the crowds are a big part of the AEW show. So if you're having fun in the crowd, I'm enjoying the matches. I'm gonna enjoy the show.
I went to we actually went to the Raw, the Go Home Raw last year for SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. And it was over here. The tickets were free. It was, we sat in the box, whatever. But I wanted to go home, bro. I was there for 20 minutes into the show. I wanted to leave because I'm not feeling the product, and everybody around you is in their phones and doing other shit. They're not paying attention to what's going on in just the show. I haven't been back to the WWE show ever since that point, and that's why I always say AEW comes to town, I'm going. Because I know that I'm going to get my money's worth. They're going to go out there, and Tony Khan's going to keep running out and telling you, "Oh, don't leave. We got this is going to be the biggest night."
Yeah, he was doing that. He was doing that.
Keeps you engaged.
Yeah, after Rampage, he came out and he was like, "We got a great Battle of the Belts, but before we get to that, we got a great dark planned out. That dark was really good." And then he came out after dark and was like, "Here's the Battle of the Belts." He's like, I got 3 great matches for Battle of the Belts, hyped up the crowd for that. Then came out after Battle of the Belts. I hope you guys enjoyed that. A lot of work went into it, blah, blah, blah. And here's Dark Elevation. Oh, by the way, don't leave because the Hardy Boys are here. And that kept the crowd. That kept the crowd. He's like, don't leave because the Hardy Boys are here. And the Hardy Boys closed out that Dark Elevation. They closed it out. And that was a really good match because it was the Hardy Boys the Hardy Boys and Top Flight, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was the Gun Club and somebody else. But that was a really good match. It was
and
a
the
really
Gun
good
Club,
match.
the Gun Club are some funny dudes live. The stuff that they
Yes,
do.
they are. Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah. They're real entertaining.
Like how they engage the crowd and everything. One thing I will say about being there, that new Indian guy,
Yeah.
dog. I'm on the train. I am on the train. TV. This guy's hand was fucking bigger than Jonathan Gresham. His hand. That motherfucker walked out there. I was like, what the fuck? Dude, he was massive. Massive.
Right.
And moving like a cat. I was like, oh, I'm on the train. Whenever this guy wrestles, I want to see it.
Well, he was, what I read, he was actually, when he got signed, so he got signed a couple years ago, and he was actually being trained by Cody.
Really?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes was actually helping train him.
Huh.
So we'll see if he's at the goods. I mean, they're pushing him, so
no.
we'll see.
Dog, what I saw out of this guy, because when he walked out, the whole crowd was like, holy shit. That dude he's massive, bro. He is
so already
massive.
so he's already more athletic than Giant Gonzalez and Great Khali.
Yes. Like he moves like a Keith Lee, actually. Like he moves like that, but he has power. He's built, and it doesn't look like he's. You know how some of these tall guys look awkward,
right?
He doesn't look awkward.
Yeah,
he doesn't look awkward at all.
He looks like a superstar.
Yeah, he looks like a legit killer, bro. Like when he walked out there, I was like, holy shit.
And it's good to have Sanjay out there, Sanjay Dutt out there, and Jay Lethal talking for him.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm willing to see where they go with it.
That and Abaddon. Listen, man, y'all gotta push Abaddon. If I'm AEW, please push this woman, bro.
I've been saying that.
This woman came out, and as a wrestling fan, my heart was so warmed by the fact that little kids were fucking terrified. Terrified, bro. I'm talking like my son was terrified. He was like, Dad, who is that? I was like, that's Abaddon. And he was like, she is so scary. And I was like, ain't she? And then he's like, I don't know, Dad, she's scary, but kind of like her.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. We talked yesterday. She got, she good. Yeah, she real good. No, I said when I was there, Fighter Fest 2021, and she came out, I was like, shit. Mm-hmm. Just watching her work, and dude, you seen the pictures of her without her makeup on. She don't break character.
No.
She got that Tony Khan's a fool in that regard.
Bro,
not pushing her.
Have to push her.
She's only had one match, like I believe on Rampage, and it was against Britt Baker. It was Halloween. It was a Halloween match. This woman, she would run circles around Alexa Bliss with a dark side gimmick.
She could.
I would love if actually they would bring Wyndham Rotunda to AEW. I would love for him to hook up with Abaddon.
Oh yes, that would be fire.
I would actually love Abaddon to hook up with the House of Black, to be honest.
I would like that too, honestly. Just seeing what I saw out of her, I would like that actually.
Yeah.
That would actually, I think she would actually fit in the House of Black. I wouldn't have said this before I saw her live, but seeing her live, bro, the fear that she put in these kids, I was like, oh, this is fucking great. This is wonderful.
That since like Undertaker back in Papa Shango.
Right. I was like, this is fucking great. This is amazing. Like, imagine taking, like, I'm putting myself as a kid in these kids. Like seeing somebody like the Undertaker for the first time, like, oh my God, that's terrifying.
Right.
And like just seeing that like brought out the wrestling fan in me as a kid. I was like, oh, that's great. Because now you have kids actually terrified of a person.
Kayfabe is still alive.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Yeah.
It still goes. So
Right.
yeah, I appreciate it a lot.
Cool.
So let's go back to someone else giving their opinions. So Triple H was recently asked his
Yeah.
thoughts on NXT 2.0.
Right.
And I felt like this was equivalent to someone taking your baby, turning your baby out into something bad, but you have to be cool about it. You know what I mean? Like the answer he gave was just, it was so political. It was so political. But you could tell in his answer that Triple H is not happy about what they did with NXT. Is that fair to say?
He gave a very corporate statement as relates to NXT 2.0 and a reboot and all the failures of NXT. Basically, all the things that happened while he was sick under his, under the cardiac event. You can tell he's not happy with. You can tell he's not happy with a lot of guys that left to go to AEW. It's no different. I mean, the way Vince has done NXT 2.0 is just, honestly, to me, the way I look at it, it's the same way that the Jedi tried to turn Anakin Skywalker. You know what I mean?
Interesting you bring that up.
It's the same thing.
It's interesting you bring that up. I have a theory. That's for another show, but I have a theory.
So that's how it is to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You can tell he's not happy with it. You can tell he's disheartened with it. This is not his vision. You cannot tell me Triple H, being a Motorhead guy, that his opening, the theme song for NXT would be Wale Down South, which the whole song is about. It's about singing. You can't tell me that that's what he wanted. You can't tell me this. So he's not happy about it. He gave the political answer. He says if all the guys that left, he says he still keeps in touch with a lot of them that have went on to AEW. If they can have careers, that they can still have a gig, that's good. But he also said something very interesting as well. He says that independent wrestlers have a lot more problems than, say, a college athlete that's never been trained. They got a lot of bad habits. A lot of bad habits that they don't want to break. He says it's easier to take a college athlete coming in fresh, never been exposed to sports entertainment, and train them from the ground up and build them up and do the WWE way. These guys that come in to NXT, that came in from the Indies, like the Adam Coles and the Prince Devitt's and the Red Dragons and all those different cats, they all had a certain way of working. They had to adapt to the WWE style,
right,
and learn how to work that way. And if you look now, they have basically in AEW, they have pretty much, I would say, they still work the WWE style in AEW a little bit, but it's more of a
controlled
strong style. It's a controlled, strong style. It's kind of what they were doing in NXT. So they're still working that WWE style in AEW, but that's what he's talking about. It's basically, we can take this new guy that's, from the ground up, build him up, and here's a guy that, that's our guy. He's a homegrown guy that doesn't have any of the bad traits that comes with Andy's wrestlers. Because any wrestler has got egos too.
Right.
You got to remember all that.
Randy Orton kind of alluded to this too. And he really did. He said that a lot of those guys didn't necessarily work safe. I don't know if that's the exact quote that he used,
right.
But he was like, a lot of these guys had habits, the way they worked, wasn't really safe. And what we preach at WWE is take care of the guy that you're going to be in the ring with. Like, take care of the other man. And a lot of that wasn't happening, which is why you see some of these guys leaving. I don't know if that's the exact quote that he used, but
Yeah.
it's funny that Triple H did say that too, because it kind of confirms what Randy Orton was saying.
But Triple H was allowing this style in NXT. This was a style that he was allowing. He kept bringing in these guys, but now it's a time in WWE where it's saying, okay, Tony Khan can have all the indie guys. We're going after college athletes, but what's going to end up happening, in my opinion, is all these college athletes that they're bringing in are not going to transition well within the WWE.
No,
they're gonna fail, and what's going to happen is they're going to go back and try to go after the indie guys.
Mm-hmm. You look at Gable Stevenson, prime example, right? He may do well, but there aren't a lot of people with that type of background like a Gable Stevenson. Gable Stevenson is a world-class wrestler, Olympic gold medalist. So you can mold him into that style because he's already have the infrastructure of a wrestler. A lot of these guys don't. They're just athletic.
See, here's the problem with that. Here's the problem. The problem with that is that Vince is not looking for you to go in there and be a 5-star wrestler. Vince,
no, he wants you to tell a story.
Two things. You need to have charisma, and you need to be able to cut a promo. I have yet to see Gable Stevens do any of these things. And a little bit I saw of him at WrestleMania, I wasn't too impressed with it.
Exactly. Me neither. So and I saw that live.
He doesn't have a body like WWE, like Vince would want. So he's got some issues. He's got some issues there he's not to work with. And then there's the other shit that I ain't gonna go into that people are gonna dig, and eventually he's gonna come back to probably haunt him one day.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they're trying to basically have the second coming of Kurt Angle when you already got Chad Gable in the company.
Yeah. Yeah, so, true.
Which they're going to probably end up changing his name to just basically Chad, because you're not going to have Gable Stevens and Chad Gable on the same roster in the same company.
Exactly.
So that's gonna be an issue there. And Michael Blake has brought up that NXT had the best wrestling for years. Absolutely. It was the best show around for years.
Absolutely.
And then but what happened is that all the guys started getting called up to the main roster. From when I was watching NXT, religiously, is when they had Finn Balor was there, Nakamura was there, Samoa Joe was there. They had all these other guys, the Authors of Pain, the early beginnings of the Undisputed Era. Drew McIntyre is when I was watching it. And Bayley was still there. Sasha was still there. But then when they started moving all these people up to the main roster and didn't have a plan for them, and they did not get over because Vince had to put his 2 cents on it, Karrion Kross, there you go. So basically Triple H, says, okay, Vince is responsible for the call-ups. That's his thing. He's telling you who's to blame here for this situation without telling you who to blame is for this situation.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I can say about it.
And the writing was on the wall then. Like, when you get these call-ups and like they don't do well and they were over, and there's a string of them. There's years of them happening. And you get these guys, they go up to the main roster, they fail, they get released. It became a pattern. But it did. It just, that's a fact. It became a pattern. These guys that were over were going up to the main roster and failing. And eventually they were gone. And it sucked, but a lot of these guys have landed on their feet.
And that's the perfect segue into this guy. So Cody Rhodes is living in the delusional dream world where he thinks he's the best wrestler in the world today. He's the total package. I don't think so. You don't have the charisma of Dusty. You can't cut the promo that Dusty can cut. You don't have what Dustin had. You know what I'm saying? Even at 53, Dustin still has it. Cody doesn't have that. Cody is in a situation right now, like I said on the last show, where Cody comes off as the most disingenuous babyface I've ever seen. Where I can't believe nothing he says. Everything he says is just so contrived, and it's just, I got to win the belt for my daddy. I got to be the champion and get the belt that he never had. Shit like that. When he ain't out there conquering racism, he's out here talking about he's going to win the belt that his daddy never got. So I'm not feeling it. It's been a couple weeks. Started up here with the ratings, and now the ratings are going a little bit down here because he's not the guy. You feel me? He ain't the guy, and that's my opinion. He's not the guy. And eventually, let me hear the crowd reactions to Cody without WWE piping it in. Because you can't trust the WWE sound system. They control the environment. I kept telling you at WrestleMania. They were controlling the damn environment. It's you go back and watch that shit.
I still don't think they were doing. They
were controlling it, bro. It's a track on there. I'm telling you.
They may have been doing that on television, but live.
Okay, on TV is what I'm talking about. They're piping that shit in. Everything they did at the Thunderdome, they're still doing it now. When they want you to boo somebody, you're gonna boo them. You can be in the arena and you can be cheering the shit out of Edge. It's not going to come across that way on TV. They're going to be booing him on TV because they want that reaction. Booing. All you hear is loud boos, and the people are like this. That's what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Cody's the best in the world.
There it is. Crowd live. He was there. That crowd was live, bro.
Yeah, but I'm not going front. You were, and that's great. You were there for it. We're talking about now, and we're talking about how the ratings have dipped every single week since Cody has been back.
No, they have. But one would argue, Cody has arguably been one of the best parts of Raw for the last.
I'm not disputing that. But for you to say that you think right now you're the best wrestler in the world, when you got Roman fucking Reigns out there, the most untouchable guy in this business on all companies, the most untouchable guy, the quote unquote needle mover, actually moves the needle. All right.
I would agree with that.
He ain't on the show that brought in CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and all these people, and you can't get 1 million people to watch the damn show without making a big announcement. This is a needle mover that consistently brings in 2 million over every single week on Friday Night SmackDown. The guy has been carrying the show. The tribal chief, my tribal chief.
Oh, is that where we're going?
Nah, I'll fuck with you. Doing my Paul Heyman.
Like, oh shit. He turned.
No, but seriously though, I mean the guy's been doing his shit. And so you can't tell me that you just came off this other show, even though you left and you built yourself up and it's a different guy now and it's not Stardust, it's still the same Cody. Cody is doing the exact same Cody he was doing in AEW. It's just on a different damn channel. It's what's going on. So you can't tell me the WWE audience is going to see through this charade that he's putting out there. Okay? Talking about, I want to win the belt my daddy didn't have, and you should be bumping your ass around the ring for me and all this other bullshit. People are going to see through that. And the next thing he's going to do is he's going to bring Brandy out there with him. And then you're really going to say, oh, look at this motherfucker. He's a real heel. You know what I mean?
No, that's fact.
But other than it's good. It's good to have him out there because it's fresh matches he's having with Kevin Owens, fresh matches he's having with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, in my opinion, Seth should be a babyface at this point, not a heel. I don't care what anybody says. I don't understand that. I don't understand why they got MVP with Omos. MVP,
they had to take him away from Lashley. Lashley's good on his own.
Is it good on the mic though on his own?
No.
All right. Because for a while there, I was calling Lashley the big ass milk dud. So is he still? I mean, can he go out there and do his thing now without MVP?
No.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But then you got the Usos out there. You only got a couple of guys around there that are pretty much untouchable right now in WWE. You got the Usos, you got Roman, you got RK Bro, okay, and that's it. But then you got Edge and Priest doing their thing. You got Rhea Ripley probably gonna turn and go over to the dark side, which I think would suit her character.
She did already.
Okay, well, I'm talking about actually joining Edge's group.
Oh, yeah. I think that's coming. She already turned on Liv Morgan. So.
And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you like this. I mean, Edge out there cutting that promo, talking about how he was in the ministry, in the Brood. I mean, that's the type of shit right there that people remember and people talk about. That right there, bruh.
Yeah.
That right there, that is true Empire shit.
Yeah, right? It is. It is.
That is right there. That's the Empire. All right. That motherfucker is working for Palpatine. Is what he's doing.
Oh shit. So my thoughts on the Cody thing. No, Cody, respectfully, you are not the best in the world.
You're not. How you gonna say that about me? I ain't the best in the world. How you gonna say that?
Sir, you're not even the best in that company. So you got a mountain to climb. And that mountain is Roman Reigns.
I gotta turn my mix on.
No, you can't turn the mix on. No, you ain't going to the pay window no time soon. Sir, that man, as long as Roman Reigns wants to be the champion right now, Roman Reigns is going to be the fucking champion. The only thing that can stop this man is an injury. And God forbid that happens, because your ratings are going to slump significantly. So that's where the money is. Until there's money looming over Cody's head. No, you are not the best in the world. Because you know why? Roman Reigns right now is the best in the world. And until that fact is proven otherwise, I'm sorry. That title don't belong to you.
Somebody else in there that's on that level that ain't Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Then that's why I will say that. There is nobody else in that company that can touch him, because Vince has put him up here to this point. Roman is pretty much the modern day Hulk Hogan.
I agree with that.
He is the modern day Hulk Hogan of WWE. Roman, in my opinion, unless something changes, Roman Reigns will be WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion until WrestleMania next year.
Oh, yes.
I guarantee you.
Oh, yes.
He ain't losing that belt.
No, he ain't losing.
People seem to forget that Hogan had the belt for years. Bruno Sammartino had the belt for years. You know what I'm saying?
Hogan had that bitch for like 4 years?
Yes. So Roman is in that mode of that Hulkamania mode right now. That's where it's at. And eventually I think Roman's gonna turn babyface eventually. But right now, he's coasting. He's basically I don't even look at Roman as really a heel. He's a tweener at this point.
Yeah.
You know
I agree. And he could do it and get away with it because it's what's cool right now. He could do that shit he could do that shit for as long as he wants. And I think he's got the mind enough to where if the circumstances change, he can change with it.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's what's going on. I think the Usos, by association with Roman being the bloodline, they're going to get those unified championships. They're going to unify the tag belts. I think that's going to happen. And they're going to, they're going to paint themselves in a corner as far as what they can do, what they can't do. But we'll see how that booking logic works out for them in the future.
I don't know how that'll work, but you have a bunch of tag teams on both shows that you can work with. So
yeah, but none of them are over.
Yeah, none of them are over. The tag team division, the only tag team division right now that matters is in AEW.
I agree with that. but you can't watch that show without it being a big announcement. You see what I'm saying?
True.
The logic that just it doesn't make any sense. I
True.
think, and that's why a lot of people just they shit on AEW because of shit like that. Because Vince doesn't have to do that.
That's true.
Vince knows it doesn't matter. Vince can put out stir fried shit,
and people are gonna watch. You're gonna get a million plus people
exactly
with shit.
So we had this conversation just last week where I was telling you that TNA, under the guise of Vince Russo, every week on Spike was doing a 1.4. AEW has not gotten to that level. They're not there yet. And people can say, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. You know, they're still, bro. TNA started off as a Wednesday night pay-per-view that you had to order. Then they were on FSN at 3 o'clock on Fridays in the afternoon. Then they debuted on Spike TV at 11 o'clock on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no excuses, especially when TBS and TNT are bigger networks.
Hey.
Bigger stars.
Yeah, this is true. But this also, like, in the numbers, it doesn't compute to me. Because yeah, they were doing that. But also, like, you don't have a core following like you do with WWE. Like, and the fans are so split now. So you're either going to be a WWE guy or you're going to be an AEW guy.
But who started that?
I don't know. I don't really care for that.
No,
so
I don't. I'm just saying who started that though. Who started that entitlement that it was the fans that started the Wednesday Night War and split it down the middle. That was the fans doing. It wasn't either company that did this.
Yeah,
it was.
But out of that came, I'm either gonna watch this or I'm gonna watch that, and more people watch WWE. For what? I don't fucking know, because that show is shit.
They're more established. Yeah,
shows. They're more established. Like, I get more nostalgia out of AEW than I do WWE now.
Yeah.
And that's just where I go. I get more nostalgia out of it. I get better wrestling out of it. I get all the things that make me a wrestling fan. I get it out of AEW.
Yeah, for a simple fact, if you want the glitz and the glamour, yeah, you're gonna find it over on Vince's show.
Yeah, you're gonna. If you want production,
strong style.
If you want hard hitting wrestling, go to AEW. If you're into production, like, I'm not gonna bullshit you. The production at a WWE show is fucking A+. Fucking plus.
Absolutely.
From the walkouts, the music, like the way that shit reverberates around the arena, like, you're just gonna get that shit out of WWE show.
You know, I've always said, and it's ever since AEW came on television, I've always had an issue with the look of their stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't like the double tunnels. That's so TNA back in the day. I've never been a fan of that. Why can't you just get a stage, a big ass screen or something right there, some kind of steel structure underneath it where the wrestlers come out or something? Yeah, you can mimic something like WCW used to have back in the day, or do something. You know what I mean? I've never been a fan of the stage. It just looks so Bush League to me. I've never been a fan of it. And turn fucking the lights up in the damn arena.
Mm.
But that's just me. You know, I'm not there.
No, I get it.
But when Tony Khan, when Tony Khan reaches out to No Gimmicks and he says, "Hey, I want to bring Frank Dean, the Black Mactor, we can go and change these things."
We can give you some shit to work with.
Exactly.
Like, we can give you some real good shit to work with. But
until then, I'm gonna talk shit on this podcast.
Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that. So, now that we've gotten that out the way, let's talk some Marvel DC.
Yeah.
Let's talk some Marvel DC. Did you finally watch Spider-Man? Did you watch it yet?
Not yet. So I'm planning on watching it this weekend. Been a little busy this week. So I'm watching Spider-Man, No Way Home, and I'm going to watch The Batman. The Batman, I'm finally going to watch that. It's finally on HBO Max.
Yeah,
so I'm going to check them out. I was reading the other day because, Discovery and Warner Brothers merged together.
Yep.
So that's going to have an impact, obviously, on a lot of properties. One in particular, DC. The guy running that wants basically DC to become more competitive with Marvel. He wants them to be on the same level as Marvel. Wants to bring somebody in to make sure that all the DC properties are running smoothly and actually make money. He says that there's lots of different properties that DC has that can be exploited, as we've seen with the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. There's a possibility of a sequel to the Joker that's going to be coming out. I've always said that DC, as far as animation goes, DC is top notch with their shit. As far as the stuff they've done with the Batman,
I would agree with that.
Suicide Squad, and all that. On a cinematic level, Marvel has always kicked DC's ass, but I think the tide is about to turn on that. I think a lot of it with Marvel is that they keep telling the same stories over and over.
Right. I agree.
So that's kind of where we're at. So I think with the Batman. And it's only so many times you can tell the story of the Batman versus the Riddler, the Batman versus the Joker. It's time to bring out the other characters. So I think that's what Warner Brothers Discovery is going to try to do here in the future. And I mean, they pushed a lot of movies back. One of the movies I was looking forward to was going to be The Flash. And unfortunately, that's been pushed back to 23, even if it comes out. Because Ezra Miller keeps getting arrested, and Warner Brothers is talking about possibly cutting ties with him and not releasing the damn movie, which I think sucks because Michael Keaton's 1989 Batman is supposed to be in The Flash. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the teaser trailer a few months ago from DC Fandom.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be in the movie. Hopefully they're going to release the movie.
They probably will. Everything that was contractually obligated probably will get released. So
yeah. And they're also talking about a revitalization of Superman as well. Is what they're going to do.
Stop.
I've never been a Superman fan. Batman has always carried the ship over there.
When you watch this movie, when you watch the Batman, we got to come back and talk about it because I want to know your thoughts on it.
Okay.
I thought for what it was, it's a long movie.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
Well, but it's not as long as that damn Snyder cut of Justice League, which I haven't watched either.
You haven't watched that?
I haven't watched it yet.
Have you watched the original Justice League?
I watched the original one, yes.
What did you think of that?
I thought it could have been better.
Okay. Watch the Zack Snyder cut. Come back to me. We'll talk about it. I thought that movie should have been released instead of the original. But that's just me.
Warner Brothers got involved.
Yeah.
In that. And just like Warner Brothers got involved when the TV show Gotham was out on Fox. They got involved in that too. Gotham started off as a good story, and then Warner Brothers started putting restrictions on them, what they could do, what they couldn't do. Yep. There's a lot of different properties out there, like DC Titans is another show that I like watching. That's that's going to be coming back for another season.
Yep. That show is really good.
It's good.
Yeah,
really good. And before we finish up here talking about this stuff, I want to bring up the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's coming to Disney Plus.
When's that come out?
It comes out May. I'm not sure. I think May 22nd or 26th.
Oh, okay.
Streaming on Disney Plus. So that's going to be the return of Hayden Christensen. It's going to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one, dude. I'm looking forward to that. Got the Inquisitor is going to be on there.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this one, dude. Big time. We're finally going to see the Empire take care of those, rebel Jedi scum, that cult.
Jesus Christ, man! What? So
they're damn cult.
They're picking this up. They're picking this up right after what? Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge. I think. What is it? Is it 5 years after Revenge of the Sith?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's when picking it up. Yeah,
I really want to know where they go with this because the Mandalorian kind of ties into that. With what they got going on. Yeah. I really want to see what they got going on with this.
But you have to admit there, Blackback. You have to admit that the Jedi are a cult.
And so are the Sith. They're both cults.
They're kidnappers.
They're both cults. It just depends.
Listen to my argument, and then I want you to say, you know what, Frankie, you're right.
The floor is yours.
Revenge of the Sith. At Revenge of the Sith, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of the Sith, when Padme, after she betrayed Anakin, Padme is lying there giving birth to the children, okay? And Obi-Wan's there, and that bastard Yoda's there, and they're all there. And
what the fuck is going on?
Basically, she gives birth to the children, and the Jedi Anakin is still alive. He's just Darth Vader now. He's still alive, okay. and they kidnapped his children. Now you telling me that those rebel scum, those Jedi, okay, are not kidnappers? It's a cult. They kidnap children to harness the power of the Jedi.
So I'm going to deem this argument invalid. Here's why.
Bullshit.
I'm gonna deem this argument fucking valid.
Bullshit.
And here's why. Anakin was tripping like a motherfucker. Why? Because Palpatine was in his ear, telling him a whole bunch of bullshit. Padme was like, y'all got to take these kids because this motherfucker's crazy. All right? I don't want him raising these kids because they're going to grow up fucked up and then they're going to kill everybody, and I don't want that for my kids. Take these motherfuckers to Tatooine. Now, matter of fact, split them up because I don't want their daddy to find both of them. I want at least one of them to have a chance. Split them up. Take one of them to Tatooine. Take the other one somewhere else. I don't even want to fucking know. I'm about to die. Take them. Here. Raise them. Make sure they grow up right. And that's what the fuck they did.
So you're completely skipping over the fact, sir. You're on the road, by the way. You're completely skipping over the fact that Padme said that there's still good in him. She knows that there is.
Yeah, but it wasn't there now.
And what happens? What happens after Obi-Wan is out there and Obi-Wan takes his lightsaber like the coward that he is and chops off fucking Anakin's goddamn legs. And Anakin's out there reaching for him and he's talking about, you're my brother. And Anakin says, I love you. And Obi-Wan is just watching them burn.
He did not fucking say I love you. Get the fuck out of here. He did not say that shit.
All right, fine. He said I hate you, but he had a damn reason. Obi-Wan was trying to get with Padme. That's what it was.
No, the fuck he wasn't.
Bullshit. That's why his ass was there. He was talking about,
what the fuck
is she having the kids? That's what he was there for. Is she having them? Do I got to pay child support, or how's this going to work? Because I'm a Jedi. I'm part of the council.
No. This motherfucker's crazy. He's crazy. He's probably going to kill me.
You know who made him crazy? You know who made him crazy?
Palpatine.
You know who made him crazy? The Jedi made him crazy. If you go back to the Phantom fucking Menace, the Jedi made Anakin crazy. They took him when he was a boy. And they wouldn't even let him be in the damn Jedi Council. That damn Mace Windu says, you're not a part of this council. That's why his ass got. When he was attacking Palpatine for no reason, Anakin comes in and saves Palpatine. So,
just say tell me you like the Sith without telling me you like the Sith. Just keep going.
I love the Sith.
Jesus, was that hard?
I am not afraid. I am not afraid of the dark side as you are.
The fuck?
But I got nothing else.
Oh shit. That was dark. That was really dark. But anyway. All right, so before we wrap this up, we will do a Patreon exclusive. I know I talked to you about this.
Yes, sir, you did.
We will be going on Patreon. Now, the plan that I laid out was that we cover a topic, we bring some of the patrons on, and we play a game.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking entrance themes. Guess the entrance theme. Right. All right. So we do that. And we'll announce it on the Patreon for the patrons to come on. And I already put a post out saying that we're going to do it. Once we get all the deets lined out, what we're going to talk about, we'll announce what day we're actually going to do it. But I'm thinking sometime this weekend. What do you think?
That sounds great to me, and may the dark side rule.
Can you stop that shit? Fuck.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
See, that's what happened. You speak in certainties.
Hey, can you
Only a Sith.
Hey,
only a Sith.
Hey, can you feel this?
Fuck out of here. Force choking the motherfuckers. Get out of here. Oh man, but that's all I got. We'll be live on Patreon sometime this weekend. We'll announce what time we're going on. So stay tuned for that. Join us on the Patreon. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fun night. And we'll give away a prize for a person that can guess all the entrances right. So it won't be easy. So brush up on your shit, and let's get ready to have some fun on the Patreon. So
yes, sir.
I've got nothing else. You've got nothing else, right?
Just help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered.
Fuck, why do I ask you this every show? Because I know it's coming.
Hey man, that's my outro from the heart of a Sith, and that's it.
All right, man. This is No Gimmicks here on the DFPN. Y'all come back next time. Till then, be safe. Peace.
Pieces.